So for today's video, I want to share something that came up with a customer that I'm really making this for, but posting on my channel as well, so that it's on here forever. I got the question about how do I monitor my wireless network if the battery goes out or if it's not on the network. How do I get notified? Do I get a warning? Anything like that. So in this case, I'm starting out, for example, with a DXM wireless gateway, and everything's already mapped. This video is not to show you how to map stuff. I have read roles and I have write roles, just a performance based network. So everything's already in here. I'm already reading stuff and sending it out, for whatever reason. So from here, what I have to realize is that all of the banner radios, for example, if you look on the data sheet, let me zoom in here. All of our radios are going to have the registers laid out so that you have 8 inputs and 8 outputs. So we get a total of 16 registers per radio. So what you may not know is that IO number 8 is reserved here for a device message. And if you monitor that, and I'm not connected to anything right now, but if you monitor that, it should always be a value of 128. So if you go back here to your tools and your register view, and in this case, for example, I do have all 8 registers being read, all 8 input registers being read into the DXM. So if I were to monitor those registers here in my register view, and I did a read, I'm not connected right now, I would see node 1 input 8, a value of 128. If I'm connected and everything's good quality, good signal status, everything's okay, we get a 128 value there. So to do that, you're going to want, and if you don't have this already mapped out, you'll want to add a read rule. If you're on a performance-based network, this is only for performance-based networks. How do you know if it's a performance network? There's a label on the radio that says performance, not multi-hop. So we can't do that on the multi-hop. There's other ways of getting around that, but on performance networks, you're going to have a value of 1 here, always for server ID, and you're going to read however many registers, and you want to make sure you read specifically that IO number, which is going to be the IO number 8, whatever that happens to be. So for example, node 1 times 16 is 16 plus 8. That's going to put me over here, value 24. Okay, so I'm interested in 24. That's what I want to be monitoring. So let's say we have a value of 128 and you don't have a PLC that you're creating an alarm for. So what we can do is create a threshold rule. And this, we can say node 1 comms alarm. And we can monitor register 24. And we can do, if it is not equal to value 128, when this is true, we want to create a local register for the alarm. So I got to make sure I'm not what registers are available. Maybe we'll make it number 1. Yeah, we'll keep it number 1. So action rules, set local register number 1 to a value of, this is a 1, because we want an alarm when it is not equal to 128. When this is equal to 128, we want to set that value to 0. So no alarm, right? So this threshold rule, now I can go back to that local register. I can give this a name, node 1 comms alarm. And I can now, for example, I wanted to create an output on my radio itself, maybe put a tower light or something like that. I could go back to my register mapping and write a write rule. So we can say node 1 alarm status. So we're going to write 1 local register, number 1, and we're on a performance-based network. So we're going to keep that to 1 in this case, starting at register, and we're just going to keep that 1. No, I'm wrong. I guess this is a register mapping video after all. So the DXM has outputs on it, and I don't remember the address. So a cheat rule you can check here is display DXM outputs right here. If I click on that, it'll give me the address 203. So I can go back to my register map, and I'm going to write 203 for server ID. This one is 1 because that's what we told the local register it needed to be. And we're going to write to the value. Let's see, what does it start on? Okay, it should be value 2101. I have a reference cheat sheet that I use that tells me this stuff. 2101 is where output 1 starts. So we'll say it's output 1, and we'll land the wires there. So this should now give me a alarm and a physical output so that I can be notified within like 5 minutes. If my node is offline, I'll get an alarm signal. So I hope that helps you. And if you have any questions, reach out to me or leave me a comment or give me a like. Thanks. Have a great day.